So welcome to my ultimate nightmare.
They're not as meticulous at the factory as I believe they should be.
Gotcha.
To be the #1 luxury car company in the world right now.
$6,193.73.
Hey guys, welcome to this next episode of TFL's Tesla Thrifty 3 series. And let me explain something. Normally when we review cars, we do it as journalists. But for this series, we're basically taking the perspective that we are car owners just like you. We've just bought an electric car and we want to go through the entire electric car owning experience. And so we're not acting as professionals, we're kind of just acting as car owners. And if you've ever owned a car, you'll know that in every car owner's day, a little rain must fall. And well, we had a bit of a storm because if you look back here, we crashed the Tesla and did thousands of dollars worth of damage. But I think at this point I should let Tommy take over because, well, let him just explain.
Hello?
Hey, you want to do a little drag race?
No.
Oh, let's just do it. Come on, it'll be fun.
Go.
And now, take my hands off. 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000.
We're almost to the top, but gosh, 47% battery, 81 miles of range.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the Thrifty 3 series here on TFL Car. Today we're going to put the all-wheel drive system in our new Tesla Model 3 through its paces. Here's how we're going to do that. You can see behind the front wheel there's a set of rollers. Now we have a bunch of these rollers and we're going to get this car stuck on purpose in a bunch of different ways to see if the dual motor all-wheel drive system in this Model 3 can get us unstuck. Now before we do these TFL slip tests, I like to do a ton of research to figure out how the all-wheel drive system in the vehicle we're testing works. And if it's a Honda, a Toyota, a Subaru, pretty much any major auto manufacturer, there's a lot of info out there that they publish on how the system distributes torque and power. Now, that's not really the case at all with this Tesla Model 3. There just isn't any information out there about how the all-wheel drive system works from Tesla. This is pretty much all the knowledge I have right there, dual motor. So there's a motor in the front that powers the front wheels, and there's a motor in the back that powers the back wheels. The back motor is a little bit more powerful than the front motor, and that's pretty much all I got. So we're gonna see today how it works in the real world and see how the brakes actuate to distribute power where they need to go. So there's only one real mode in this entire vehicle that I can actuate that might help us in the slip test. If I go in a car here, driving, it's something called slip start, which is supposed to help free the vehicle stuck in snow, sand, or mud. And if I turn that on, you can see slip start enabled and there's a little traction control off symbol there. So we'll play with that if we need to. But for right now, we're just gonna leave it in total normal mode and see how it works. For our first test here, I'm gonna get the front wheels nice and stuck in the rollers, both front wheels, and see if the rear wheels can get us unstuck. Simple as that. Now our procedure is pretty simple. Get into the car. It's already running because it's a Tesla. Roll down the window. Reverse seatbelt on so the car doesn't freak out all the time, and back up under the rollers. And then I'm just gonna go ahead, put it into neutral, let the car settle, into drive. So that leads me to believe that the rear motor is active right away when you take off. And there's no slippage if your front wheels get stuck, which is pretty cool. As you saw, the Tesla passed the front wheel slip test with really no difficulty whatsoever. So, it's time to move on to the rear wheel slip test. We're gonna get the rear wheels stuck on purpose and see if the front wheels can claw us off. So this would be like if your rear wheels were stuck on a patch of ice or stuck in the sand or in mud, but your front wheels have traction. Let's see what happens with the rear wheels stuck in the rollers, seatbelt on, because this car really hates when you try to move it with your seatbelt off. The auto hold, which prevents me from creeping forward, is off. And now we're just gonna slowly accelerate. And there we go. Traction control light flashing. I'll try it one more time, but this time let me turn slip mode on. See if that changes anything. So go into settings, driving, slip start. Slip start enabled. Okay. Let it settle and accelerate. Maybe a little easier, but still some spinning. Okay, so this next test is going to be more difficult, I think. It's one that you see a lot off-road. The problem you see a lot off-road, I should say. But essentially, it's a loss of traction at opposite ends. So, for example, front left and rear right are stuck in a hole, or they're stuck in a bit of sand or in a bit of mud, or they're even off the ground altogether. But you also see it a lot in snowy conditions. So it's going to be more difficult for this car to distribute power left and right. So the right front and the left rear have traction. This one, the front left and the rear right, got nothing. So it's got to figure it out. Back up. It's much harder to modulate this electric car with that instant torque than your standard car. So I'm going to let it settle into the rollers, which it is, and then just a little bit of throttle. Oh, some slipping from feels like the rear. And we're off. And let me try our slip start. This actually is no issue for this car, this diagonal test. I'm pretty impressed. Slip start enabled. Yeah, the front wheels don't really seem to be all that active all that much. So this feels like a very rear wheel bias system. Now, obviously they were active when we had the rear wheel stuck because they pulled us off, but it doesn't seem like there was too much slipping going on whatsoever from the front. Let's look at the slow-mo from the back. Let's step it up a notch. Now, we haven't been able to get the car stuck yet, which is good. Most cars we test can go through those stages with ease. However, this next one's going to be a real challenge. It throws some vehicles off. This is the three-wheeled slip test. So both left wheels are going to be stuck. The front right is going to be stuck. Only the right rear wheel has traction. Okay, I'm going to do this test with a slip start off, just normal mode. Seatbelt on, into drive. Let me release the auto hold. We're still on a pretty mild slope here. So we're all settled. Accelerate. Oh, the car is really thinking. Yeah, good result. Okay, so we're gonna try something new here. Now, we don't normally do this, but this system feels really passive with the front wheels in my opinion. So we're gonna eliminate the rear wheels altogether in another three-wheeled slip test with only this wheel, the right front, with traction. Okay, three wheels part 2. This time it's all up to the right front, something new. And here we go. Oh, it's really working. But we're off. Yeah, not bad. So maybe a little bit harder than with the rear wheel, but we're still down. So welcome to my ultimate nightmare. God, I can't believe it. I was just backing up the Tesla into our studio here. I misjudged the angle of the approach, misjudged the steering. I was just really stupid. I gave it too much gas and I hit the wall of our garage here, and I just ruined it, guys. I screwed up and I ruined the car. This is just the worst day I've ever had, I think. $50,000 worth of brand new Tesla, and I just, in 3 seconds, because I'm an idiot, just ran it into the garage. And so you can see where I hit it along the wall here. This, of course, is concrete blocks, so those aren't going to move. Look, here's some bits of tail light. Okay, let's see if it'll even open the charge port. Okay, so the charge port works. Okay, so here's the big issue with this whole thing, right? There's a lot of issues, and I've read stories online of, you know, repairs like this taking 3-4 months. I guess now what I'll have to do is call my dad, and I know he'll want me to use State Farm, who's our insurance provider, so I gotta call them, make a claim, and then see where we can go from there. This sucks. Hey, I got some really bad news.
How bad is it?
It crunched the bumper and the tail light just popped.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm unbelievably sorry, Dad.
Okay. I got it fixed.
So I'll schedule it in for service to see when we can get it fixed.
Okay.
So to begin to understand the magnitude of my mistake, we have to understand how Tesla operates their body shops, or maybe I should say manages their body shops. Tesla has roughly 10 or 11 in-house body shops that they control across the entire USA. There's not a single one of those in Colorado. Obviously 10 or 11 is not enough body shops to deal with the number of Teslas in the entire US. So Tesla partners with what they describe as the world's best body shops to get you fixed and back on your way. Now, when I say partners, I mean you can only take your Tesla to these approved body shops, because these are the body shops that not only A, have the knowledge to fix your car, but B, have the parts availability to fix your car, because Tesla is super stingy about who they give parts to, and it has to be within their approved network. Now this creates a lot of issues for me. We're out in Boulder, Colorado. I did a quick Google search and we have roughly 17 or 18 vehicle body shops here in the city of Boulder, Colorado. About 120-ish thousand people that live here. 18 body shops, and of all those 18, only one is Tesla approved. Only one of 18 actually has the ability to get parts and the knowledge to fix your Tesla. Out of 18 in our city. Now, if you expand to the larger Denver metro area, more specifically roughly an hour or so away from our offices, there's about 5 or 6 approved shops. So there's more options, but not all that many. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky, and this is where our experience has already gone downhill really quickly. So when I had the collision with the garage, the first thing I did was call my dad. Then I went ahead and called Tesla, and Tesla said, well, you're kind of out of luck with us. What you have to do is go to this website, plug in your zip code, and it'll show you where the approved Tesla body shops are. So I did that, and it spit out, like I said, 5 or 6 close-ish locations. Then I called State Farm because we're gonna fix this car through insurance.
If you have any general questions during any brief moments of silence, please feel free to ask. I'm on the line with you, okay?
Yep, thank you.
Okay, and now can you tell me where the damages are located on the vehicle?
Yeah, so it's located to the, if you're looking at it from the back, it would be the driver's side rear bumper, the driver's side rear tail light, and then there's a dent in the driver's side part of the rear of the trunk.
Okay, thank you. One moment.
And I said, great, who do you recommend to fix our Tesla? And they recommended a shop in Boulder that is not on the Tesla network whatsoever. Like they don't have the capability, they're not one of the Tesla partnered body shops. So I said, look, that's not gonna work. The shop you recommended is not part of the Tesla system. And she said, oh, okay, so what shop is? So I named a shop. And the lady from State Farm said, yeah, we can do that. However, what's going to happen is you're going to bring your car there, then the insurance guy is going to meet you there and make sure that that shop's quote is in line with what we think it should cost to fix a car. I'm like, great. So I called the body shop, and that body shop was actually great. You know, I did my research. They're a reputable body shop to fix Teslas, and he said, frankly, he was like, look, State Farm, they never accept their prices. They just won't do a rate, so it'd be a waste of time. Of course, the State Farm agent I was talking to didn't know that. I had to call the shop. Anyway, so I had to call State Farm back and said, look, I talked to him. We need to find a different place. And then it became this big search for a shop that was not only in the State Farm network where they accept their claims, but also a shop that fixes Tesla. And State Farm has no idea what shops fix Teslas. Essentially, it's on the consumer, or you guys, to go out and do your research and figure out, A, which shops in your area fix Teslas, and then cross-match those with the State Farm person to figure out which one of those shops is going to accept their rates and which one is reputable and which one's good. So there's a lot of moving balls you have to manage. I finally found one in Denver, so about an hour away, that I think is going to work. So we're going to go over there right now and see how much my mistake is going to cost.
Your call may be monitored or recorded.
Rick and Mark Collision, how can I help you?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Hey, I've got a Tesla Model 3, and I need to get some body damage fixed. How do I go about that process?
Is it going to go through insurance?
Yeah, it will go through State Farm.
Okay, so as far as repairs, we could get you in either Wednesday or Thursday of next week.
Oh, and one other thing, I did double check to make sure that the turn signal and the brake lights still work so that it's legal to go down the road, and they do work. And the trunk closes sort of. It's a little bit grindy. Is this like a pretty common set of damages that you see?
Yes,
is
very
it?
common.
Yeah.
Yep.
I noticed just walking around, there's a lot of Model 3s that are missing rear bumpers, so it probably looks like we're not the only ones.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. We actually, it's pretty amazing. We see a lot of quarter replacements.
Quarter
on the Teslas, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, on the 3s.
Well,
and the
why do you
S's.
think that is?
I don't know.
Is there a reason?
You know, isn't that crazy? But it is true. Like, I think we've got like 4 in the shop right now that we're replacing quarter panels on.
Unbelievable.
I think it's just part of the aluminum structure, and it's the backing up thing, right?
Right.
You know, it's just the majority of the hits and impacts that people have.
So, okay, so initial reactions.
Yes.
Other than fear. What's the first thing? What do you? Obviously, you'll probably need a bumper.
Right. So the first thing when I walk up to a car, I always like to look, obviously, at the initial impact, but also see if there's any secondary damage. So right away when I came around the car, I was already also checking out the quarter panel.
Okay.
To see if that impact pushed this forward or out or bowed it out, you know, in any shape or form. So that's what I'm always looking for. For instance, like right here, you can see how this isn't fitting anymore, the trunk lid.
Right.
And it also even made contact right there.
Wow.
So even though you see the damage in this spot, the primary impact it's called, there's always secondary.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because it caught right here too, and so that's what pushed the whole trunk lid forward.
Okay, so
Yep.
in terms of like parts, when you're making these estimates,
Yes.
something like this trunk that from 10 feet away looks like there's a little dent in it.
Right.
This would probably need a whole replacement then, huh?
It could, yes.
Okay.
Yep. And especially because of it being aluminum, if there's any type of tear or anything on the actual shell or the seam, then you need to replace it.
Gotcha.
Yep. So that's what we look for. That's what I look for when
Okay.
I'm looking at a car. Those types of things.
Okay, so what are you thinking so far? Just initial.
So far, obviously, we're looking at a bumper cover.
Yep.
The bumper itself, the rebar,
Okay.
is right here.
Yep.
And that's what you see is bent that way.
Yep.
And then we've got, 2 lamps here. We've got to do something with the quarter. There's actually a buckle. You can feel it right here.
Really? So you
Yeah.
can actually feel a.
Yeah. If you take your hand and do this, and you can sort of see it.
Oh,
it's
you can
right
see like
here.
there's a crease.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it actually buckled out because of it all getting pushed forward.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So this is also freaking me out too.
Oh.
Like that doesn't seem to be.
Right. Yep. And see, so that's just because of all of this being buckled.
And see, another thing we have to look for is the alignment. Because right now, these are usually pretty tight. And they're usually shut pretty good.
Yep.
But But see, that
but
pop
that
is
really
not.
popped hard.
There's more secondary damage than the initial damage sometimes.
Wow.
Because the cars are made to transfer the energy away from the passenger compartment. So yeah, that's what makes the car safe though.
So when you're disabling the battery, the high voltage battery, is that like a software thing? Is there like a physical?
There's a physical disconnect underneath. Basically, it's called a fireman loop.
Yep.
So you got to disconnect the 12 volt, pull that out, and there's a whole procedure to do it.
Oh wow.
So we got to print that out every time we do it because the procedure might have changed within the last week. Because these are so technical, they can actually update the car right now. We don't even know it.
So in your opinion, you know, being a tech with Tesla, how is a Tesla constructed compared to, you know, a Cadillac or another luxury brand?
They are safe, no doubt about that. Their fitment is not the greatest. So you see your gaps here. So I always look at a car and just look at, see this gap's a lot tighter. Actually the rear door's sitting out a little bit. It's a little wider down here.
Okay.
So fit and finish is not there yet.
Yep.
The Model 3 is the best one for fit and finish though.
It is.
Yes. The Model S and the Model X are not good. They're a lot more handmade, and it's just the gaps. I could show you a few gaps, and they are horrendous.
Wow.
And those are the expensive ones.
Do you see like flaws with Teslas underneath the body too? You know, once you start peeling stuff away.
Yes. We actually have one right now. We just started disassembling. They never seam sealed the rear floor, so there's actually dust and debris from. Looks like the customer lives on a dirt road. And I can show you the whole rear end of the car is full of dust. God. So we're gonna have to actually get warranty involved and re-seam seal it and actually do it properly.
Wow.
So we don't have, because it's not just dust that gets in there. You know, if on a rainy day you'll have road water splashing up. Water and electronics do not mix. You know that.
Right. Sure.
So it is, you know, the fit and finish subpar. But yeah, just they're not as meticulous at the factory as I believe they should be.
Gotcha.
To be the #1 luxury car company in the world right now. They're turning a lot of cars out, but they're not 100%.
So you were saying that parts on a Tesla are pretty cheap, but that's not the issue with the fixing them.
Yeah, the parts on the Teslas are dirt cheap. The trim panels, Model X ones are probably around $50-$60. And a lot of them are one-time use, so they recommend replacing the clips every time you remove them, which is a good operation. But getting the clips sometimes is not the easiest thing either. So a clip could hold up this car a matter of weeks to even a month possibly. Me physically, I've probably done at least 30-40 of them. You know, yeah, they're a different animal. They're awesome to drive. I love driving them. Would I own one personally? Not until they get all their fit and finish stuff figured out.
Gotcha.
I'm just being honest with you.
No, it's good. I mean,
Yeah, no,
you know, we're here for the viewer. We're not here for Tesla fanboys.
Yeah, no, and like I say, seeing the underneath of everything, the design, the safety wise is there, but I think it could just be done better. You know, I've also been Audi certified, and I've seen stuff that they do, and it's a lot more impressive.
What would be our next process? So, you know.
So what we would do is I would write an estimate for everything that I can physically see that's needed.
Okay.
Okay. And then what we could do is order parts.
Yep.
Get you scheduled in.
Yep.
So you could bring it in, we could get it torn down, and then we could write a complete estimate for you.
Gotcha.
Yep. So we do have your State Farm assignment. They
Okay.
have sent it straight to us. So now all I have to do is go in there, complete your estimate, upload the photos to it. I'll go out and snap some more, just get like your mileage and stuff. I didn't get that yet. And then I'll send everything to them. They will review it. Then they'll send me any change requests or anything like that I need to make. But then we can, like I said, we can get parts ordered, get you scheduled in for drop for repair.
So from your experience, like from drop off or something like this till your like average pickup,
Yeah.
what's like the average time frame?
For a Tesla or for a car in general?
Let's start with the car in general.
Okay. You're probably looking a week and a half, maybe?
A week and a half. Okay.
Yeah, that's just for any normal repair. For instance, like an average repair is about $4,000, they say.
Okay.
Just looking back at like what we do, if you average them all out, it's about $4,000. So yeah, that's usually about a week and a half to maybe 2 weeks, and that's just depending upon parts.
And that's pretty much door to door.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So same accident, but now in like a Model S or Model 3.
Could be about a month
Wow.
to 6 weeks or more.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's just
Part of
the
the
nature
deal.
of the beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's pretty much all parts. One thing, Teslas are like an onion. Because they're aluminum, you keep peeling back until you don't find any damage. So that's how with the techs. That's how the techs, you know, so obviously they'll take off the bumper. Oop, the rear body, they have to take that off. Then is there some more damage? Then once they see no damage, that's when they can stop.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow. And is there any part that you can't get? Is there anything that Tesla won't let you buy?
Nope. We can get everything since we're certified.
Way cool.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind me asking, what was the most expensive payment you've had to quote? Is there one that's super memorable?
Just in a total repair?
Yeah, is there one that...
Probably about 30 grand.
$30,000? Wow.
Yeah. I know we've actually got a Tesla in here right now that's at 50.
$50,000?
Yeah. But you know, it's worth 160.
So they're gonna put the money
They're
into
gonna put it. Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about, you know.
Right. Okay, so what are we looking at?
I've completed my estimate.
Yep.
Right now, I'm at a 13-day repair that does not include ordering parts, and I'm at $6,193.73.
So is that with labor and paint? And
Yes.
Okay.
That is everything. But now that does not include anything we cannot see.
Okay.
So this does not include the rear body, the inner quarter, anything, because I cannot write it until I see it.
Gotcha.
They will make me take it off the estimate if I cannot get a photo of it, which
Gotcha.
that's fine. Every insurance company, you know, is that way.
Right.
So,
All right. So now here's an interesting question.
Yeah.
If you were to like order a rear replacement, right, or
Yes.
a rear structure right now,
sure.
and then it turns out you didn't need it, could you return that back to Tesla?
We are having difficulties doing that.
Oh, really?
Yes. So that is why we're shying away from that.
Right.
You know, and trying to get everything that we actually know we need.
All right, so the bad news is it's going to take thousands of dollars to fix this vehicle. And if it were any other brand, you know, we might have had it fixed by now, but as you've just watched, it could take months to fix this bad boy. But luckily, at least from our point of view, the taillights still work, the backup lights still work, the turn signal still works. So just like you guys, we're going to keep driving this Tesla. We're going to keep making videos because, well, we want to share what it's like to now own and drive a crashed Tesla Model 3. So coming up next week, we're going to show you kind of all the hidden and cool features that Tesla has packed into the Model 3. And we're going to talk about and see what it's like to live with an electric car, specifically what it's like to charge it. As always, this is Roman and, of course, Tommy saying thanks for watching, and check out tflcar.com for more news, views, and Thrifty 3 reviews. See you guys next week. Ciao.